Jalen Williams in Game 4 kept OKC alive with his secondary ball handling and ability to break down the Pacers' point of attack defense. But throughout Game 5, J-Dub did most of his damage off the ball. Now physically, Jalen has the perfect build for scoring away from the basketball. He's quick, lengthy, strong, but most importantly, he has a really good basketball feel by constantly reading the defense and finding open space to cut into. Look how Obi Toppin is going to fall asleep, while Tony Bradley struggles in fighting through the screen. So J-Dub is just going to run through this pass and slice into this open space. I also like this read, where the Thunder are playing out in transition and the Pacers are late in getting matched up. So Jalen's going to again cut and find that open spot.
Beautiful bounce pass to Williams.
And Williams also finds a good amount of his cuts by screening for his teammates. Because OKC always has multiple scorers and playmakers on the court, simple actions like this can lead to easy breakdowns. Look how J-Dub is going to shift across as if he's looking to set the screen for Shea. But as Aaron Nesmith just slightly shifts up, this then frees up Jalen for another backdoor cut. But then along with that ability to knife towards the basket, Jalen is also a legit spot-up shooting threat. His numbers may have been up and down throughout the playoffs, but when he's on, it can't be overstated how valuable that additional floor spacing is for OKC's offense. And it makes the most simple actions nearly impossible to guard. Look how SGA is going to turn the corner off the screen, which pulls Nesmith down and across the nail, but that then gives J-Dub plenty of airspace for the spot-up three. But then along with that ability to can threes, Jalen can still put the ball down and cook aggressive rotations. We'll see Nembhard here get caught over helping towards the ball, but when he scrambles back out towards the perimeter, he then gets dusted with the straight line drive. And then in the paint, J-Dub is able to sink this high finish over Miles Turner. And then like we've seen this entire series, J-Dub also did a ton of damage with the ball in his hands. And when he gets going downhill, there's simply too much strength, length, and touch to deal with. One thing OKC has been doing a lot of is setting these super high ball screens. And this both alleviates the Pacers' ball pressure, while also pulling their slower footed bigs out of the paint. And when J-Dub gets a head of steam off these screens, he can be really tough to deal with. We'll see iHeart again here set the screen in early offense, and J-Dub is going to hit the turbo button to then get to this high arcing scoop layup. And I love how Jalen mixes up the timing of his footwork here by gathering off his right foot to then immediately elevate off his next step. And then even if the Pacers' point of attack defense was able to navigate through these actions, J-Dub's strength and ball control still allowed him to keep his attacking angle. Look how Mathurin here is going to fight over and stay on his hip. But from half court, Jalen can keep his angle all the way to the basket.
On the drive, layup won't go.
Now when attacking from a standstill in the half court, J-Dub again did most of his damage out of pick and roll. The first thing we have to go over is his passing. While he may not be looked at as one of the top tier playmakers across the league, Jalen being unselfish and willing to make the simple play is more than enough with the talent that OKC already has. But then along with those basic reads, Jalen can also make tough deliveries like this, where iHeart is going to slip out of the screen, and after transferring the ball between to his left, J-Dub is going to immediately flip this dime to him.
Nice feet inside.
So that passing threat combined with J-Dub's pace and navigation with the ball also feeds into his scoring out of pick and roll. We'll see him here come off the screen and put Nesmith on his back. But then as him and Turner are trying to communicate the coverage, J-Dub is just going to dart past him and sneak up his inside hand finish. I love Jalen's control on this play, where he initially looks to work off this check screen to his left, but when Nesmith initially blows it up, Jalen's going to stay patient and use his body to both protect the ball and bump to create space to come off the screen. But this time, when Nesmith looks to fight over, J-Dub is going to lose him with this between and spin. Then while charging downhill, he has the control to attack Nembhard's body to then step out and sink the soft bank shot. We can see more of that ball control and footwork here, where this time he's isolating against Mathurin and he's going to bring the ball between and back through. But as he transfers the ball to his right hand, notice how he's also going to punch that left foot back to push himself downhill, and he's able to lower his shoulder and muscle up this finish. When turning the corner off these screens, Jalen's also very good at using these little pickups to cover ground. He didn't finish any of these in Game 5, but these have always been very effective moves for him. Look how from the 3-point line, Jalen only needs one dribble to sweep the ball past Toppin and extend to the rim. Now all these tools from Jalen's handle, pace, and strength naturally carries over to his mid-range game. And these are shots Jalen has been able to generate pretty much at will. He's working off these stagger screens to his right. And watch him lower his shoulder as if he's trying to turn the corner, to then plant that left foot and separate for a step back to his right. This move and shot here was also big time, where Jalen is going to transfer the ball between and float up, to then lower his shoulder and attack towards the middle. But then as Neesmith cuts him off, Jalen is going to lose him with this reverse pivot, to then turn out into this fadeaway. So whether he's playing on or off the ball, Jalen is pretty much always going to find a way to have an impact. He's an elite cutter and spot-up shooter, plus he has the build and skill set to create and playmake from all three levels. But what's even crazier about J-Dub's game is that you could make a strong case that he's been having an even bigger impact on defense. First, his ability to guard 1 through 5 has been giving Indiana's offense non-stop headaches. Throughout the playoffs, Indiana has been able to match up against pretty much every team they've gone against. Either Pascal Siakam can attack smaller guards or wings in the mid-post, or Tyrese Haliburton can go at switches and use that foot speed to get blow-bys, or separate out for jumpers. And teams not wanting to give up those switches leads to them either hard hedging or playing drop coverage, which then makes it easier for Haliburton to create advantages. But against OKC, Williams being able to switch and cover 1 through 5 has forced Indiana into standstill offense. Toppin here is going to hand the ball off to Haliburton at the end of the shot clock. And OKC from here has no problem switching this, which forces Haliburton into an off-balance elbow jumper. And at 6'5", Jalen's strength and 7'2" wingspan allows him to play much bigger than what he actually is, where that low center of gravity allows him to hold his ground and not give up position, and that wingspan is enough to extend out and alter finishes in the paint. We'll see him here battling for position against Miles Turner, and then as Toppin attacks across the paint to his right, J-Dub can still reach across to alter this finish. Siakam on this play is trying to back down and chisel his way towards the basket, but Jalen can get underneath him and hold his ground, giving OKC's weak side defense enough time to rotate across. And that presence down low also makes J-Dub a very effective weak side helper, having the anticipation to snag passes down low, plus the reach to rotate across and provide an extra layer of resistance around the basket. And then when extending out and guarding on the perimeter, Jalen checks literally every single box. Like we saw down low, he's very physical on the ball. If the offense tries to attack his body off the dribble, it's really tough to carve out a driving line. Mathurin here is attacking with a head of steam. And watch Jalen just simply keep his hands up to then slide and keep his chest in front of the ball. But then along with that physicality, Jalen also has the foot speed to extend out and check the Pacers' backcourt players, where he's great at moving his feet and keeping himself squared up. And even if the offense is able to find a way to get him on their hip, that 7-foot wingspan still makes scoring or passing really difficult. So again, like I said, Jalen Williams being able to guard any position gives OKC's defense a ton of flexibility. They can go small with him at the 5, unleashing that quick and frantic defense. Or they could go double big, and he would have no problem matching up with any of Indiana's wings or guards. That type of switchability has made it really tough for Indiana to create advantages. And that's been the big difference maker over these last couple of games. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.